everybody, welcome to the Natural Hair Channel where we keep it real. This is Wisdom Coils, and I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but look, COVID, it's been a lot of things that's been on my mind mentally, so, and if I look weird, I'm trying to look at you, but I'm using my phone, so my camera's at the top of the screen, and, so excuse me, but yeah, I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but, COVID, all of that stuff, I probably don't care, whatever. I'm fine, I'm alive, here I am. So, if you are watching this video, you're probably coming from Instagram. So you probably know what this video is about to be about. This is going to be a Storytime video. And this is not the first Storytime video that I filmed, but this one seemed to get a lot of attention from people, and honestly, so it started with a TikTok video I posted. I'll probably insert it, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. Basically, I stitched the video, and the first video was like, "Hi ladies, like, what is the craziest thing a man has ever said to you?" And I told this story. So, I did a short-ended version of the story. So, the start of the story is going to take place when I was like 16, maybe 16. And when I was 16, we had social medias and stuff like that, but like, we didn't really use it as heavily. Like, it wasn't like, Instagram wasn't like what it was now, and Facebook wasn't like what it was now. So we would all play outside and stuff like that. So my mom had to work, so she took us down to our church for a summer camp. Now the summer camp wasn't like what you were thinking, like wide open fields, like certain activities, kickball over here, basketball over there. It wasn't like that. It was in a church, and I'm from the hood, so it was just one. It was in the church building. It was in like the lunch area, and we would be in there. What we would mostly be doing would be we would be in the sanctuary, which is where the church services take place. We would be in the sanctuary, and myself and my brothers would be practicing singing and stuff like that with the pastor, because he's musically inclined. He's a great man, and he's not who the story is about. So yeah, but he's a great man. So he wanted to draft my siblings and I to be in his choir. So that's why we were practicing with him. So that's what we would mostly do. Now the younger children would be back in the lunch area. They would be playing like board games and singing. They would be singing little songs and stuff like that. Things to just keep kids occupied, running around and stuff like that, while the pastor, my siblings, and a few other children, it wasn't just us, would be in the sanctuary. So, side story. I remember being in summer camp, and like, I don't understand what it is about older people, especially older black people, that anytime you don't agree with what they're, you don't pick up what they're putting down, they try to make it seem like you're some bad, horrendous kid. Like, I was a very good kid. Like, I've never been suspended. Like, I was never suspended. I had some detentions or whatever, but like, I was never suspended. I didn't get into fights. I didn't do any of that. This lady decided to make me at 16, 17 sing a nursery rhyme. And a song went, we all stood in a circle, like we were going to play Ring Around the Rosie, and we would sing 1, 2, 3, the devil's after me, 4, 5, 6, he's always throwing bricks, 7, 8, 9, he misses every time, and then we would start over from the top. So the first couple times we sang it, I was like, okay. Then by the 5th time we sang it, my face was like, And she was like, I don't like your vibe or your attitude. And I'm like, I'm too old for this, lady. Like, I didn't really care much for her after that. But I don't hold any grudges, obviously. But, like, it just was annoying. So, anyway, back to the story. So, in the church, they have volunteers, people that, like move chairs or, like, help, repair things and stuff like that. They were handymen. The guy I'm talking about is one of these handymen, okay? He would always be off of the pastor's cold strings. Like, every time you would see the pastor, you would see this guy. And he wasn't doing anything. Like, it wasn't like he was one of his ambassadors or something where he'd be, like, making deals. If you see me looking over to the side, my kitten's over here. But yeah, I'm wonder if I can. Say hi, Lynx. Okay. Bye, Lynx. Yes. So, she wanted to make her debut so bad. But yes, where was I? Yeah, he wouldn't even be doing anything. He'd just be standing there, like, so we first met around the time I was in that summer camp, right? And ever since I first saw this guy, let's give him a name. Let's name him McDonald. And his name is close to... Anyway, so we'll name him McDonald. So when I first met McDonald, I got a weird vibe from him from day one. This man, I'm going to actually describe what he looks like. This man wasn't tall. He was about average height, completely bald, none of these, and he was about my complexion, maybe a little lighter, and he had like freckles and stuff like that. Yeah, so came to find out that this man was like a couple years younger than my grandmother, who turned 68 this year. Yeah, so I was 16, I am now 24. So what was that, about 8 years ago? Yeah, so he was probably 60. Let's say that. I'm bad at math if I got it wrong. So yes. And I got a creepy vibe. You know that older man, ladies, that you're around, that always seems to be in all of the little girls' faces. Like, every time you turn around, that man is there. He wants to joke with you. He wants to laugh with you. He tries to be tactile and, like, touch your arm and stuff like that. And, like, the thing that makes it creepy is, like, I don't really mind age gaps up to about 10 to 15 years once you get up in age. Like, a person that is 35 with someone that is 55 is like, whatever. Versus, or a person that is 35 with someone that is 45 is fine. But 16 and 26? No. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't really have much of an issue with age gaps up to a certain point. But mind you, I was 16. This man was 60 years old. That means this man was jiving with the Jackson 5 decades before I was even thought of. He was older than my mom. So, the pastor, being a lovely man that he was, my family and I were moving house about a year or so after we met this guy. And he was there. So he knew where I lived. But we didn't live too far from the church. We lived a couple blocks away from the church, so we would walk up there every Sabbath and stuff like that. This is important. Remember that he knew where I lived. Okay. So back to summer camp. When I first met this guy, he didn't do anything with us, but he was always there. Like, just lingering around, watching the little girls, like, and he always seemed to have free reign to just walk around. I remember there was my family, another family, that was there, and they had younger girls there. And I remember one time the kids were playing, and this guy was like, "Stop! Don't provoke me." I'm like, "Don't provoke who? Who are you? Like, you're not these people family." I knew for a fact that he wasn't a family member of these people, but he just seemed to always want to be around children, like little girls. And it's like, it's different if he's like a nurturing guy, he's there to teach a workshop or something, he actually has a purpose to be there. This man didn't do anything but help around with the pastor. He wasn't even supposed to be in contact with us, right? I remember certain instances where we were working on a play, and I was dancing for the play. It wasn't like a praise dance, but I was playing a part of like a really ratchet girl. So I was dancing, like partying and stuff like that. I was like 16 years old, and this man is just staring at me like no, not like that, but like just looking weird. Like, you know that look, ladies, you know that look, that creepy old man look, where he's just staring at you and he's just thinking all these disgusting things, everything else that he doesn't need to be thinking at his old age, in the sanctuary. So here's the second instance before I get to the part. The second thing that happened, remember I told you he knew where we lived. So it was one night, about a year or so after that, about a year and a half, 2 years after the summer camp was over. Sorry about that, guys. I gotta go open the door for my cats. They're being weirdos. Hold up one second. Alright, sorry about that. So I remember it was one night. This was during summertime. Around that time, me and my family, like, I'm really close with my grandma, so her room was like downstairs in the house. So I would be downstairs with her we watch House Hunters together, we watched a bunch of different shows together. We'd be sitting down there. I'd basically be in her general area. And obviously the front door is downstairs, right? So out of nowhere, we hear a knock on the door. So we're all looking like, we check the time. It's like, I'm gonna say 9 to 11 o'clock, right? It's like 9 to 11 o'clock-ish. My little sister goes to the door, and she wasn't like a toddler or nothing like that. She was a little older. She was like maybe 13. So she doesn't know like who's expecting company or anything like that, So she opens the door, and in walks McDonald. So we're like, can we help you with something? Did the pastor send you for something? This man walks right into our house, right? And it's just talking and talking and talking and saying nonsense. This man walked past me, and all I smelled was the hardest of cheap liquor. I'm talking about, sorry about that, but yes. I don't even know the name of any cheap liquors, but that's what he smelled like. So
he's talking, he's like, "Oh, how's the family? Oh, it was so good to see you, Wisdom. My wife is in this house."
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
So I'm like, what house? Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? A haunted house? What house? Because it ain't in this one. My grandma don't want you, and that's the only one in this house you need to be looking at, is my grandmother. She don't want you. My mom is too young for you, and I'm way too young for you. But this man is standing here, he's like, "My wife is in this house, my wife is in this house." It was a picture, my grandma had a picture of a painting of Jesus Christ. He's touching the painting, he's like, "Yes, my wife is in this house, I'm gonna claim it." and he's drunk as a fish, right? This man walks out, and on the way out, he does it so quick that we don't have time to react. He grabs my head, right, and kisses me right on the forehead. Smelling like liquor, sweaty, old, and decrepit. I'm like, so we look at each other like, did you ask this man to come over here? No. Did you ask this man to come over here? No. So he left, right? My brothers happened not to be there at that time. I told my brothers, and he went to talk to him, but he didn't do anything to him. But like he definitely let him know that don't do that again. But anyway, my boyfriend now would probably kill him. Like say my boyfriend crazy. He do not play that. But anyway, yes. So now to the instance, right? So I believe the service I was in is like some kind of revival, if I'm correct. I think it was like a revival where sorry about that. Yeah, so I think it was some kind of revival. And it was like around some fashion show. My church was having a fashion show. I was there to help choreograph things because each collection of clothes that were being shown had a theme, and I was to help them dance and stuff like that before they walked. Or I was saying like this person should walk this way, stop here, pose, they should walk the other way, stop, stuff like that. So I was there to help choreograph, and the pastor would come pick me up from my house and take me down to the church, and he would drive me home. So we spent a lot of time really just sitting in the sanctuary and singing. Singing for doing choir rehearsal or talking about the fashion show. It was really nice. They made a catwalk and everything. It was really nice. I also just remember something as I'm telling this story. But I'm gonna say it after the story if I remember. So no, I should just say it now. So around that time, I met another individual. We're going to name them Candy. So Candy was a transgender individual. I think she was transgender. She was male to female transgender. And I don't know how I started talking to her, but she told me that the reason why she wanted to be transgender was because when she was a man, one of the women that she was with aborted his child, and because of that, she was transitioning. The pastor was preaching for her, praying for her, and stuff like that. And I remember her telling me, she was of course older than me, she had this tooth was gone, and like she kept it in, so like it broke off and it would break off, and like it would be on, like it held up on one of these, and she would just push it back into place. I'm like, she did that as she talked. And I remember we had to wear makeup and stuff for the fashion show. And she was like, yeah, we're the sexy women of all the fashions and everything like that. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to go home and put makeup on and come back so we can all be sexy. And I'm like, and she told me, she was like, if I was a man, I would date you. That's what she told me. She was like, if I was a man, I would date you. I think you're beautiful. I think you're cute. And just because I'm trans doesn't mean that I don't know how to say no and stuff like that. Like, why would I cheat? You know what I mean? And I was like, okay. And then she told me that her butt got big because she had anal sex, and like it made her butt bigger outside of the sanctuary. So I was like, let's leave the sanctuary when we talk about this, because this is a private move. So I would just nod. And she was an interesting character. She was there, I think, till before she got her surgery. She ended up getting her surgery, I believe. I haven't seen her since because I haven't really been to church much after this instance that I'm going to tell you about. So I remember where I was. talking about McDonald. So McDonald, I was sitting in one of the pews after rehearsal for the fashion show. And I think I was one of like 3 people there. And while the pastor wasn't there, or while I was seeing McDonald walking around, the classic, get on your phone and act like you're doing something. I'm tapping on my phone. Then I feel the seat sink beside me. I turn around and it's McDonald sitting like right here. And I'm like, can I help you? I said it just like that. And he was like,
I know we don't talk much, but like, I've been wanting to tell you this for years. I have feelings for you, and I've prayed to ask God to gift you to me as my wife. I'll treat you well. I know that love is love. I don't care about age. As long as you're like legal and stuff like that, like we can be together. You can be my wife. Like I've already prayed and I've already claimed that you're going to be my wife. I have feelings for you, and I've been wanting to tell you that. He grabs my hand and
kisses it. Then he gets up and walks off, right? I'm like, so for the rest of the day, I said nothing to this man. It's not like I really talked to him anyway, because he was a weirdo. But, so, I'm walking out, right? He's walking back. He says, hi. I keep walking. I'm just like this. Like he wasn't even there, right? I sit down. He walks by again. Hi. I say nothing. So, I sit on the edge of the stage and the pastor's there playing on the piano. We're writing music and stuff like we usually do. He walks by again while the pastor's there. I think he thinks because the pastor was there that I was going to like be kind to him and let him terrorize me. But so sorry about it. That's not what's going to happen. You got the right one today. But anyway, he comes up to me and he's like, hi. I sit like this. Act like nothing ever happened. The pastor looks at me like, we gonna talk about this later. I'm like, we'll talk about it later, right? So for the rest of the night, this man's eyes are on me like, looking like a kick puppy, like an old decrepit kick, no, not like a kick puppy, like an old decrepit kick dog that's one cough away from saying sayonara. Like, I'm so sorry about it, love animals, but that's what he looked like, staring at me like that. And so I get in the pastor's car, right? And we're talking. And then he's like, so, what happened there? I said, well, this is going to be a doozy, Pastor. This man told me that he had feelings for me and he wanted to be with me. And he was like, oh, we shouldn't have said that. That's weird. I was like, yeah, that's weird. He said that a little earlier today. And it was funny because he was hovering around while we were walking out to the pastor's car, trying to act like he was helping the pastor and handing the pastor things. I guess to keep an eye on me, like I wouldn't tell. What? Like if you didn't think what you were doing was weird and creepy, why would you be hovering around so I wouldn't tell? But anyway, I was going to tell anyway because you're a weirdo. We get in the car. I tell the pastor what happened. So the pastor's like, okay, I'm going to have a conversation with him about that. Yeah. So this was like on the weekend. I think the following weekend on Sabbath. I get there. He says nothing to me. He looks at me. He doesn't say anything to me. I'm standing in front, one of the front rows of pews. And this man is standing behind the pastor as he's preaching. And we're all doing group prayer. And he's yelling, yes, Lord, like this. Looking at me, putting his hand in my direction, saying, yes, Lord, I claim it. Like, get out of here, Urkel. Like, you. Oh my gosh. But anyway, from that time on, the man would just stare at me and just walk up to me sometime and say nobody's perfect, and I'm like, why are you talking to me? Like, why are you talking to me? Like, out of all the people here, why are you exchanging words with me? Like, why are you in my space? Why am I not just another passerby? Why are you talking to me? Like, we have no type of family ties. You are not a friend of my family, okay? They don't know you. We're 5 generations apart, okay? You were there when they were rocking afros and bell bottoms, okay? You were probably alive when Dr. King got shot. Why are you talking to me, who was like 3 years old during 9/11? Like, why are you talking to me who was born in the 90s and you were probably born in the 50s? That's 40 years. That's somebody in midlife crisis. Why are you talking to me? And talking about your woes and what you're going through when it's your fault, because obviously you're drunk and you're a pedophile. But anyway, afterwards, as he was staring at me and being weird, it was another family, a new family that came to the church, had a young girl. I promptly pulled her to the side and because I seen him looking at her and trying to talk to her, and I was like, watch out for him. I was kind of like a big sister to the girl. I was like, look, if he says anything crazy to you, let me know, tell somebody, because he's a weirdo and he said some creepy stuff to me in the past and stuff like that. But yes, that is the story time. It could have went left, okay? It could have went way left, because this man knew where I lived. This man was persistent for years, and this man was creepy. So I don't even think I need to tell young girls to stay away from old creepy men that try to talk to them, but I'm going to, just in case, because a lot of people don't recognize the signs. But if you see a older guy and you're a really young girl staring at you and being weird and creepy, let somebody know, preferably another man, or somebody. Talk to somebody, please tell somebody. And I know it may be uncomfortable, but just try to slip it in conversation and mention it in passing, like, this man said this to me, this man said that to me, or whatever, and it'll get handled 9 times out of 10, because young girls are coming up missing and stuff like that, and a lot of the perpetrators are old crazy men like that. So yes, and by the fact that he had the audacity to do crazy stuff like that in the church sanctuary, is just, if it's anything old dirty men are going to have, it's audacity. Okay, they never run out of that. It's audacity. So ladies, even men, young boys, be careful out here, because these people are weirdos. But there's my story. All right. It wasn't crazy eventful, but a lot of people were asking to hear the full story, so I'm going to post this, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And leave your comments below and tell me about any crazy creepy old men and what they have said to you. I have a bunch of other story times that I thought my life was super boring until I actually sat down and thought and was reminded of certain things. So I'm going to be telling some more stories, I guess, in the future, but that's not what this channel is about. I'm trying, you guys can please leave ideas down about natural hair videos and stuff you want me to post. I'm a lazy natural, so I don't really have much ideas on my own, but yes, thank you for listening. Have a nice day, and this has been Wisdom Coils. Welcome to the Natural Hair channel, where we keep it real, and I'll see you on my next video.